All right, lock in because today I'm going to be talking about how I have the desire to graduate from college for sure, but I don't really have the desire to go to a graduation ceremony. Now, for a quick rundown of myself, for high school, I was in the class of 2020 where there were no graduations or very limited graduations because of the situation that happened that year. I didn't get a graduation ceremony. Then, when it came to going to college, I started off in kinesiology and education, but realized that it wasn't for me. So, I switched to communications, film production. And with the major switch and switching colleges within this time frame, that moved my graduation back some. That's why, it's not the typical, 4 years, then get out graduation plan. It's like my fifth year out of high school right now. But yeah, basically, right now, I'm almost done with college. Take these 3 summer classes, then take this 1 class in the fall, then I'm done. So since I'm nearing the end of my time in college, nearing my graduation time, I've been thinking, not just recently, I've been thinking about this a year in advance, but I've decided that I really don't want to walk the stage for graduation. Of course, while I have had graduations like elementary school type stuff, I haven't participated in one recently, which probably makes it easier to not really have any feelings towards this upcoming one. But yeah, despite not participating in one recently, I know what graduations are like. I've been to some. I've been to my cousin's college graduation in 2016, which my family tried to get me to miss out on my track banquet for. Luckily, there was a way to go to both, but follow me here. That's a potential point that I want to get at for later in this video with these dumb graduations. Then I went to my brother's graduation very recently in December 2024. I've sat through some graduations, and with how unnecessary I've determined it is, I just absolutely hate the fact that it's considered to be traditional and people freak out and go crazy over this stuff, take it way too seriously. First off, I just can't stand how boring and time consuming these graduations are. For just attending a graduation, you're probably going to be there for 2, 3, sometimes even 4 hours, considering maybe getting there early and then the absolute nightmare it is to try and get out of there. But as a graduate, someone that's participating in the graduation ceremony, then obviously it's more time consuming because you have to get there early and go through everything that comes with graduation since you're participating in it. Also, this isn't going to be the case for everyone, but I know my family like the back of my hand. When the ceremony is over, the day isn't actually over because from recent experience, December, when I went to my brother's graduation, I know they're going to want to celebrate even more by going somewhere to eat, for some reason, because those two are supposed to have a correlation. I guess graduating and eating food. Maybe I don't know. That's not what necessarily makes me happy. That's not how I would like to celebrate, but that's kind of how everyone else wants to celebrate because it's traditional, especially in my family. That's how you celebrate, even though that's not how I celebrate, but whatever, man. But yeah, what I'm getting at is that this graduation day is already long as is, with the speeches and waiting for everyone to walk the stage. But even outside of the ceremony itself, I know that graduation is just going to completely take up a whole day, and that's just a whole day that I flat out just don't have to be wasting time on something like that. As a guy that makes videos, runs a couple of channels, some monetize, some not. I also edit for people. Also, I might just want to play the mini Steam games sitting in my library that I haven't played yet. But yeah, I have a lot on my plate. I just don't have the ability to give up a whole day for a graduation ceremony when I can easily just get the degree mailed to me and probably be happier because of it. Next, a point that I touched on earlier with the track banquet and my cousin's graduation in 2016. These things were on the same day, basically, or at least on the same weekend, I think. I don't remember all of the details, but I know for sure it was on the same weekend. My aunt stayed with me to go to the banquet while all of my family, my brother, mother, grandparents, uncle, like they all flew out of state to go to the graduation. While I was at the banquet, I couldn't help but feel the guilt. Like, this is something that's already paid for sure, like that I totally deserve to be at, but I was told not to go by my mother, and like was told that I had to miss out on it to go to the graduation. So I wasn't even able to enjoy the banquet like that because there's just this like guilt, like having my aunt stay behind to take care of me, like someone that wanted to go to the graduation while like everyone else went. And it kind of gave this feeling of like not necessarily breaking apart the family, but like I guess just like splitting them up from like something that they wanted to be at, and like being a little bit rebellious. Like I know my mother used to call me a rebel. Like I changed my password now, but like when she got a hold of one of my accounts, she changed my password to like rebel and then my name. So yeah, this is a person that prioritizes a graduation of someone that is not her child over a track banquet of someone that is her child, but somehow I'm the rebel. Like somehow I'm the one that's just trying to be different. Yeah, sure. Now getting back to the story, we were able to get both done, like go to the banquet and fly to the graduation. Me and my aunt had a lot of adventures throughout the years, and I'd like to believe that like that was the start of it. But yeah, the main thing that I wanted to emphasize in that situation was the stress. Graduations are tough on a family, and for my family in particular, big events always end up causing a bunch of drama and frustration, and there's just too many cooks in the kitchen. Like everyone wants their absolute perfect way. No one wants to shut up and listen for once, like take a back seat for once. But yeah, like that's another rant for another time, which probably like is going to be an actual video that I make. Like sometimes people say that's another idea for another time. Like I actually might make that video. I don't know, but yeah. First up, I never wanted to go to this upcoming graduation from the beginning, but also I'm just like a self-aware type of guy. I don't have many strong connections with anyone in my family. Like there's not many in my immediate family that would really stick their neck out for me, and like that's completely fine because I didn't build those relationships. So like it's completely expected. So knowing this, I'm not going to like force a graduation on them, force a graduation on the family, seeing up close how much stress and drama it causes. Like that's travel, that's a time commitment, and much more. Like some people in my family, probable candidates to go to the graduation ceremony, if I was actually going, like they'd have to drive 2 hours to and from where I'm at, like all in a day. And like there's no way I'm actually going to like realistically put that on someone for 10 seconds of walking across a stage. I'm not that important to go through all of that for. Like I'm just considerate. Graduations bend schedules. I've been a scapegoat for a lot of stuff in my life, so I'm not going to be the reason why you had to like bend your schedule, especially since like you're not that close to me. I kind of look back to 2016, you know, like I was just a helpless kid that wanted to go to a track banquet after a great season, and what I didn't know was going to be my last track running season. But yeah, I remember that feeling, like being told that I would have to miss the banquet, and feeling guilty when I went to the banquet and like just racing to get to the graduation. Like, no, why would I ever potentially put someone through all of that just for a stupid graduation ceremony that I don't even want to go to? All of that for 10 or so seconds of walking across the stage. Like, no way. Absolutely not. Lastly, this reason is specific to me, but I don't want to go to the graduation ceremony because I know that it's not going to be all about me. Take a look at some of my other videos to figure out like why I don't really feel like saying that word here, don't really feel like talking about those situations. But basically my mother is a control freak. I'd also kind of put like my grandmother a bit up there as well, because like she has power in the family, and like because she's old, everyone tries to appease her. But yeah, like I'm absolutely not walking into another one of my mother's traps. There's been situations in the past, like my birthdays, where I let my guard down, agreed to go somewhere with her, then we're eating at her favorite restaurant and she barely looks up from her phone. So like I'm kind of just like going to be off to the side. This year, there was a situation where I showed her a letter getting invited to this like society. I don't really know what it was, probably some honor society because of my academic achievement. And like I said that I'll think about joining. Then like 3 weeks later, when the deadline was up and I told her that I didn't want to join, she said that she canceled her plans to go to Tampa just to go to the ceremony, which I never said that I was going to join, never told her to cancel her Tampa trip, and never even invited her to the ceremony. It's like she invited herself. Also, get this. After this conversation, my grandmother calls me, badgering me to try and see if I could like join late, and like talked about maybe my uncle was planning on going when I never mentioned it to my grandmother or uncle. So clearly my mother told people about this and like invited her guest list and didn't like run it by me. Like she tried to make it her event when it was supposed to be about me, just trying to take over and control everything, which like I'm setting the stage for to justify like why I don't want to spend a whole day like that with this person. For this graduation day specifically, I can envision a long dreaded photo shoot where I would have to take like a bunch of pictures with everyone and like smile and such, which her picture taking always takes a long time, trying to get the most pictures and like the most different angles and like different variations and combinations. Like I just don't have time for all of that nonsense. Like I'm not a photogenic type of guy at all. Like I have one default look. Don't like it, then like too bad. Like I'm not there to take a million pictures and like a bunch of different places and poses. Pictures are supposed to capture memories for sure, but ironically, I take in experiences better without all of the electronics and like just living in the moment. And it's kind of embarrassing that I have this outlook as a Gen Z guy that grew up with modern technology, and the millennials and Gen Xers in my family are so against that, despite growing up in times without technology like that. Anyways, yeah, like I'm not there to take a bunch of pictures, which is going to be inevitable. Next, I can see her inviting some people that like I did not invite, even if it goes by a ticket system where like I choose the guest list for like the graduation itself. I could still see her inviting them to the eventual feast after the graduation, which I'm absolutely not one for these big group gatherings. Hate Thanksgiving, hate Christmas, not because of what they represent, but just because of these like group gatherings with people that like, yes, they're my family, but we don't really have a deep connection like that. I don't really see them as anything deeper than like their title, like an aunt or an uncle or a cousin. So no matter what, I feel like there's going to be unwanted guests that she wants there, and we're going to be going to a restaurant that she wants to go to. I have lived with this person for most of my life, and like I'm just not falling into another trap. Luckily, this year was peaceful, but prior to this year, my past 2 birthdays were all ruined by her, basically trying to take over when like that's just not needed. And like I just figured that I don't need a day that's supposed to be about celebrating me to be controlled by her, especially when that's happened like for most of my life, especially as a 23-year-old man. So the main reason why I don't want to walk across the stage are like the boring aspect and the control aspect. All of that is going to make for an absolutely bad day when I'll probably be way better off without the festivities and like just playing video games and like editing videos and such. Like that's what makes me happy. Like that's what I like. I deserve to be happy. Now, I have been looking online to see if someone else shares the same feelings as me, and I found a Reddit thread, but a common thing that I kept on seeing was that the graduations like really aren't for the students. It's more for the parents. It's for them to celebrate, which like I could see some truth in that, but it's like I didn't like to see that at all. It's just another guilt shaming tactic, which like I'm all too familiar with in my life, man. Like it's just being framed like I'm robbing them of a moment. First off, like I've already said, I don't really have the best connections with my family. So to me, it doesn't really feel like I'm robbing anyone of a moment to see me graduate because we just don't have that emotional connection like that. Next, for me specifically, I feel like I've already given my family enough moments. One specific example that I'll bring up is when my mother was acting like a child and wouldn't talk to me until I agreed to work towards being an Eagle Scout in Boy Scouts. And like, there's much more. I feel like I've already played enough games. I feel like I've already been through enough of these, like, if you don't go through it, you'll regret it, like, type of experiences. Also, although it's technically my choice, I feel like I'm in college because of my family and because of like society at large, just pushing everyone to go to college and like not really educating them about other pathways because they think like we're still living in the 80s and 90s where a college degree actually means a lot more than it means right now. But yeah, in a way, I feel like I'm already in college for them. Like I've spent the last 5 years of my life in college for them. So I don't think I owe them that and a graduation ceremony. Like that's enough. This graduation is not going to be the peak of my life. Hopefully not, because if it is, then that means that I failed in life. I think it is possible to celebrate and like I think it's possible to graduate without going to this long drawn out ceremony just because it's quote unquote traditional. Like I said, I've been on it for about a year, like planting these small seeds for about a year, sort of like trying to ease my family members into the possibility that I'm not going to walk across the stage. And like so far, like I've kind of like floated it to my grandmother, kind of floated it to my uncle, but my mother has not really picked up on that yet. I don't want to outright say it now because I still rely on her for stuff. Like I don't have a full-time job yet or a house or a car or anything like that. And since my grandparents are old and my aunt is like wrapped up with other stuff and like my brother and uncle don't live in the city, she's kind of all I have. So I can't burn her because I know she's either going to take it personal or like guilt shame me, and like I have like a whole lifetime of experiences to back this up and a very recent experience. So she doesn't know yet, but like it is time to start speeding up that process and like see what she says. This is the type of thing that could get me stranded, like no assistance from her, like no talking or texting from her. So while I don't care about this graduation at all, like I don't care about it. It means nothing to me. I have to consider, like, is it worth potentially losing my support over this, especially since, like, I'm not a made man yet? Also, speaking about walking across the stage, when my grandmother saw a picture of one of my cousins graduating, she told me that she has some money for me, but I can only get it if I walk across the stage. It's a solid amount, like a life-changing amount in the immediate future, but I just got so frustrated because that shouldn't even be on the table because I've literally openly told her for a year that I'm not walking. So like she had time to get over it. And while the money is nice, speaking about my mother and grandmother, if my value to you hinges upon if I walk across that stage or not, then like keep the money and delete my number. Stop talking to me. Like that's just like an unbelievably petty thing to hold on to. And with them, like this just isn't going to last. Even if I walk, they're just going to find a new thing to complain about within time. And like they're just going to give me the silent treatment about it or complain about it. So it's like a no-win situation. If I walk, I keep them satisfied for the moment, but it's not going to get me like a lifetime of like praise and happiness. If I don't walk, then they're going to be mad. So like I can't win. But yeah, those are the many reasons for why I don't want to walk across that stage. It's not a bad thing at all. It's just not in the cards for me. But yeah, that is all for now. Stay strong, stay brutal, because above all else, it's anything to win.
I won't let you down, Bruce. I'll keep fighting. Always.